Hello everyone and welcome to this second video introducing NetWeb. Today I will be showing you how we can design our network in offline mode, so without being connected to the actual network. Since I won't be using any real network today, it doesn't care what network interface we use on the top part. So I will be using, for example, this adapter, this virtual adapter here, and I will be adding manual devices to simulate an actual network. So I won't be using these scan options today. First of all, then, I will add a manual device, and this menu pops up, so I can set here my devices names. So I will, for example, be using lighting desk. I can set an IP address to it, so for example, I will be using 10.0.0.1, and since I don't know the MAC address, I will leave it like this. I can then add this device, and as you can see, this lighting desk device has now been added to the list down here. I will add at least for 6 devices, sorry for the demonstration. So I will, for example, use like a backup desk. I will set this to IP.2, for example. I will add a third device named control switch, and this will be on IP 10.0.0.5, for example. I will then add another switch. This will be the stage switch. This will be on IP 10.0.0.105, and then I will add at least 2 other devices, so I will simulate 2 nodes. Like for example, I can add node universe 128. This will be on 10.0.0.101. I will add another device named node universes 9 to 16, and this will be 10.0.0.102. Great, now I have 6 devices here, so I can simulate my network, just my design, my basic design, and I can now add all of them to the scene. So I right click anywhere in the list and add all of them to the scene. So now all devices have been added here. I can move them around, so I can, for example, move these control devices here and these nodes down here. Great. Since I will be using the switches to connect both parts of the stage, I will simply do this, and I will be adding them to frame groups to keep them organized. So I will add a frame group here. I will resize it like this, and I will set this here. I will add another frame group. I will first resize it more or less. Okay, and I can now set this to stage, this to control. I can set colors here as the example in the other video. Great. And I can just add ports to the switches, so I will add 8 ports to each switch. And I will basically create the connections. So I will use these connections as normal Ethernet connections. I will do the same here. And since I will be using this scene to actually document my network topology, I will add names to these connection types. So since these are default connection types, I will be changing the name to Ethernet, and I can say here like 1 gigabit connection category 7 or 6, I don't care. Okay, now I will add two other connections, trunking connections to connect the switches between them. And I want these connections to be fiber, for example, so I will add another connection type. I will scroll down here and I can say this is fiber. I can then change the color to something like this. I can use dash style, and I can say like these are long throw fiber connections. Great. I can then change these connection types, so I can select hover them and select fiber, and same here. Great. Now I have this setup already done. If I want, for example, to visually organize my connections, I could just add path points as we saw in the other video. So I can simply hover any connection and right click on it. So this will add a path point to the connection that I can move. For example, I will leave it like this, and for example in this case I can add two path points, one that goes down here and another one that just stays below the switch. I could also use these arrows here to move all my devices to below the connection. So I can, for example, once I'm below the actual connections, I can then select in each case what devices I want to display on top or to the bottom. So I can now see the connections here. I don't like these connections like crossing over my device, so I will add, for example, connection points here, and I will just do like this. Yep. So I can now have a more clear diagram of my connections. Great. Now imagine that I will add another switch to my setup, like an unmanaged switch to get the control from any other console that I may have. So I will extend this frame and I will add two more devices. So I will add first of all another desk, for example, external. I will set this to be on IP 10.0.0.50, for example, and I will add another device for this switch. So this will be unmanaged switch, and since I don't know the address of this switch, I will just leave it like this. It's better if you don't set all of them to 0.0.0.0 just to avoid repeating addresses. I will add this device, and then I can add this and add this. I will add here the unmanaged switch, and I will add here the external desk. Since this is an unmanaged switch and it won't probably have any IP address actually, I can set it to dumb mode. Dumb mode is basically thought for these cases where I don't have real managed switches, so they don't have an IP. They are just a network device that I want to visualize, but I don't want to be in the scanning function, and I don't want them to be consuming process. So I set them to dumb. I get them hello in yellow, and I can simply use them and visualize them, but without affecting the rest of the scanning process. So I can also add, for example, 5 ports here to this switch, and I can, for example, do this. I will say this is the external connection. I can leave this to cyan, for example, and I can say this. I can basically change text external, and I can add multiple path points to make it more clear. I can add another connection here, and I can change this to external as well. Great, as you can see now, I have my setup already in the scene. So good thing about NetWeb is that when I get this actual design connected to the real network, I can scan the network and get all these MAC addresses, for example, or all these devices properly assigned. So I can save this scene, offline design. I will save this to the desktop here, and I can later on load this design and scan the network. So as you can see here, I have two scanning methods. I can check by IP or check by MAC address. What this means is that if I don't know the MAC addresses, I can check my design by IP. So when I scan the actual network, it will check for all these IPs in the network, and if there's a matching device that has this IP and an actual MAC address, it will simply match them and set here the MAC addresses of each device. If I instead know the MAC addresses, or for example, I already have my scene scanned, and I have a DHCP server, for example, in my network that every day changes the device's IPs, I can then check by MAC address, and it will automatically detect the devices by MAC address and match the automatic IP. So I will have all my IPs updated here in each device. That's pretty cool because I can simply design my setup, and once I got to the real network, I can simply scan the network, and I have all the things already set up. What I can also do now is print my work, so I can simply adjust the viewport like this, for example, and I can go to File, Print. I can decide the printing types here, and I can simply print this. So I can say this is offline design, and now the design has printed. So if I open my PDF here, you will see that now it's been printed. You can also see this table. As you can see, all the connection types and all the actual nodes of each connection are here printed. I can edit this PDF as a normal PDF, and if I want to have more flexibility, I can also export the table in multiple file formats, like an XML for Excel, an Excel type, a PDF as well, or any other of these ones. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you find it helpful, and I hope to find you in the next video. Thanks for watching.